What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is Jason Cruz with another episode of The Legal Submission. And this time we're going to take a look at the winding litigation behind the Triller Lights Out Productions BYB Extreme Fighting Series lawsuit. I will give you a little bit of a rundown since the lawsuit was filed late last year by Lights Out Productions BYB Extreme Fighting Series LLC. It's a uh, bare knuckle fighting organization out of Florida. We're going to call them Lights Out Productions for the purposes of this particular legal submission. And so what they did is they have a triangular ring, triangular structure in which they have their fighting contests. Triller, as we know, came up with something called Triad Combat, which debuted late last year, in which fighters fought in another triangular structure. Lights Out is suing Triller for among other things, patent infringement for alleged infringement of the design of the triangular ring, copyright for copyrights regarding the idea of the triangular structure to fight, as well as several other causes of action. So what's happened since then? Triller has filed a motion to change venue, which has gone through. I believe the parties agreed to it. And what happened, what means in that sense, is that Florida was where the lawsuit was filed for Florida federal court. Triller had moved to Central District Court of California. Basically, think of LA as far as where the lawsuit was filed, where Triller is, I guess, based, you could say, so to speak. Of course, one of the reasons why they moved the venue is because there is maybe a advantageous part of it for Triller to have this lawsuit heard and perhaps have the trial heard in Los Angeles. So that happened. In addition, they filed a motion to dismiss. Now, backing up a little bit, just you may not need to know about these the civil procedure of civil litigation, but basically, when you file a lawsuit, the opposing side, the side getting sued, is going to have to respond in certain ways. So, as we saw in the MTK Global Jojo Diaz case, they didn't even respond. But here, instead of responding to the allegations, which is usually called an answer, the Triller filed a motion to dismiss, basically stating that there is no issue of fact in the actual lawsuit, and therefore it must be dismissed. So without further ado, I was going to show the lawsuit. So there was a stipulation. So it was a stipulation to move the case. But so just so you know what's going on, motion to dismiss shall be heard on March 7th. We have already received the opposition, which was last Friday, or last Thursday, available to us last Friday. Opposition to motion to dismiss, which we're going to be talking about the motion to dismiss and the opposition, and then there's going to be a reply next week as well. So with that being said, the motion to dismiss, what is Triller saying that they believe a court should dismiss the case? Well, they went into two issues here: the patent infringement cause of action by Lights Out, and as well as the copyright design. So what you can see here is that first, that Triller made side-by-side comparisons, which indicate the claim design as well as the accused design and the issues related to each. And so one of the things that Triller stated was, as I go back up here, is that the issue, the patent, we're talking about the patent first of all, there is a distinction made between Triller and the structure made by claimed by Lights Out. And basically, they go through what the legal standards are for design patents, and in stating that there is no infringement here, because in the patent it's entitled fighting cage, and it goes through what the cage looks like, goes through each of the drawings, essentially going through the history of how Lights Out Productions came upon their design patent. Basically, the patent is what they consider an inventive idea for which they are asserting ownership over. So basically, here you could say Lights Out is drawn up the cage, what it looks like, what it is to protect this particular design. Of course, the one thing that's been highlighted by certain patent lawyers is that design patents in design patent infringement cases are hard to prove, simply because you don't own the idea of the design. You just own the exact design patent described in your patent. So they go through. One of the things that Triller does is they indicate the issues where there's differences. And one of the big issues is it's a ring design, not a cage design on the part of Triller. So Triller has a ring, that's what they're trying to distinguish, whereas Lights Out has a cage. And they go through the reasons why accused designs are issues related to side-by-side comparisons as how things differ. And you could see there's a side-by-side comparison in the pleadings regarding the claim design by Lights Out and the accused design by BYB. And you could see just from the drawings here that Triller, the accused design, makes great emphasis on the details that are different. And as you can see, you have side-by-side issues regarding the fact that the patent has a tall, wide cage frame forming high walls to enclose a fighter in the cage, whereas Triller's no cage frame or ring enclosed by high cage walls. They go all through the details, and this is what happens in these types of lawsuits. Door with jams. That's what is identified in Lights Out design, but whereas Triller's has no door and no jams. So very, very detailed, very granular, I guess you could say. And then they talk about the copyright, which is similar. So for copyright, they must have a copyright, first of all, and then second of all, the copying of there must be a showing of the copying of the protectable elements. And here Triller asserts that the infringement claim by Lights Out does not give rise to the two elements. First of all, there's no copyright violation as argued by Triller. And we go, since this is copyright deals with more of the idea part of a protectable intellectual property. And so there are no protectable elements of the copyright filed by Lights Out, and it's not substantially similar to what Triller has. So again, they go into a comparison of plaintiff's 269 copyright and the accused design. It demonstrates that nothing from the accused design is similar to any protectable elements of the 269 copyright, much less substantially similar. So 269 copyright is just a number given to the copyright by Lights Out. And again, one of the things that is done throughout the pleadings, the motion by Triller, is that they look at the side-by-side comparisons. Copyright design by Lights Out has a triangular shaped ring, whereas Triller's differs in this sort of way. But again, they make it seem different, but you could almost infer from Lights Out their opposition, which I'll talk about in a sec, that it is much more similar in nature, according to Lights Out. So Triller states that the triangular shape and tubular ropes are not elements protectable by copyright as they are a geometric shape or serve a functional utilitarian purpose. So here is one of the bigger issues that I think Triller is going to emphasize on, is that the shape and the shape of the ring and the elements within it, meaning the ropes, are not protectable elements. So we are looking at a narrow versus broad definition as far as the protectability of the copyright here. Triller is going to emphasize that the shape and the ring ropes are not are merely functional and not a part of the protectable IP. On the part of Lights Out, Lights Out will say that no, indeed, the triangular shape as well as the ring ropes are a part. So here we go again, nuanced issues regarding the list. Large fist logo at the center of the ring, which was in the copyright of Lights Out, but whereas Triller does not have it, they go with even down to the fact that the exemplar had no fighter in the ring, whereas Triller's has a fighter in the ring. So therein lies the motion by Triller. Now, last week, Lights Out did file an opposition, and I think one of the bigger things that we should point out in the opposition is a notion that there was a tip-off as far as the structure of the particular ring as well versus what Triller is saying here. So Triller will have you believe that the structure of the particular ring as well versus what Triller is saying here. So Triller will have you believe that the structure of their triad combat ring differs from Lights Out boxing ring. And that could be true, but one of the issues that they point out here is that at some point, Lights Out and Triller met to discuss options as far as holding joint events together. And according to Lights Out, Triller took what it knew from Lights Out and copied it to their paperwork opposing the motion to dismiss. Lights Out says as much. And we go to a portion of the pleading on behalf of Lights Out, where it goes into the fact that in or about September 2020, Michael Vasquez, plaintiff's principal, met with Peter Kahn, who at the time was associated with the competitor BYB, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, during a Titan Fighting Championship event held at the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami, Florida. During their meeting, Mr. Kahn praised Mr. Vasquez for his company's Trigon triangular ring and noted to Mr. Vasquez that we, BKFC, are bigger and better than you. The only thing you have on us is your triangular ring design. Our ring is too big. In March 2021, Triller Fight Company announced its hiring of Mr. Kahn to the newly created position of Chief Boxing Officer. So you could infer here that the fact that Kahn had this knowledge of the ring led you to believe that when Triller hired him, he gave the idea of the triangular ring to Triller. So another thing that occurred here is in September 2020, Triller had an event in Hollywood, Florida. Plaintiffs met informally with Ryan Kavanaugh and discussed the possibility of defendants partnering with plaintiffs to offer future events using the Trigon design under the Triller Fight Club banner. The Trigon design being the Lights Out Productions triangular ring. And of course, they note that in October 2021, they reveal they themselves, Triller, had a triangular ring. So therein lies the issue at this point regarding the infringement. Now, you could say that this is something more of a trade secret where someone obtains information from another and uses it for their own particular for their own particular business. The issue, though, is the fact that Lights Out Productions voluntarily provided this information to Khan, to Kavanaugh, and I don't know if there's any stealing of ideas, because they more or less asked if they could partner up or work with them, and I guess that without any discoveries, therefore no non-disclosure agreement was given regarding the information regarding the triad, the Lights Out ring, the Trigon shape ring. So what happens next? There's going to be a reply by the attorneys for Triller, which will oppose what Lights Out is saying, that with respect to the inference that the idea of the triangular ring for Triller was stolen from Lights Out Production. We will see what happens. It's a lot of legal experts believe that this is slam dunk on the part of Triller. Triller will get this case dismissed, but with all these other factors arising regarding whether or not Triller knew about this particular IP, we might see at least a defeat of the motion to dismiss and this lawsuit going through discovery. That would be a seemingly a victory for Lights Out Production. Whether or not they can prevail on the IP issues is something. I mean, there's still other issues that are not being dismissed, so this lawsuit will go forward. But the meat of the issue is whether or not Triller used the design patent and or copyright information regarding the triangular structure to promote their fights. Now, Triller was supposed to have a fight at the end of the month, an event at the end of the month, but that was postponed because of the COVID issues that were happening in Texas. We'll see when the next event will happen. But at this point, we're on a pause regarding events for Triad Combat on that front for Triller. Once again, this is Jason Cruz with another episode of The Legal Submission. Please subscribe if you can. Please like the video if you like it and are interested in this kind of granular information. I know it's a grind to listen to this. I try to piece it back to you so you could understand it a little bit. We're still a little ways away from the hearing, but once the hearing happens, it'll be an interesting case to figure out what will happen with respect to these claims. Jason Cruz, Legal Submission. Go ahead. Have a great day. Bye-bye.